Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Look alive, look alive, look alive, man. 95. 5 minutes early for 95. When have we
We
ever been
here.
early? I don't even think we ever been early.
I mean, shit, it's the first time for everything. We getting closer to them
First
hundreds,
time
man.
for everything, man.
Getting closer to them wild hundreds, man.
First time for everything. We are still on that countdown to episode 100, but we're live right here, episode 95. It's a nice summer day out here in the Empire
Is
Tri-State
my fan
region.
picking up? It's that hot.
Nah, I don't
Can
hear
you hear me?
anything.
All right,
I
perfect,
don't
man.
hear anything.
Awesome.
Nah, you're good.
Getting that
You're
shit
good. You're
going.
good.
It's
You're
fucking
good. But yeah,
swelling
man,
right
we're here. It's the Ringside Club, episode number 95. We're live, of course, on X, live, of course, on YouTube. Um, now we usually do. Right
now.
around this
Intro
time, yeah,
survey.
right around this time. This is known as the show before the show, otherwise known as survey time. Then, of course, we hit the intro. We come back. We reintroduce and introduce the guests. But the survey question to go around the ring this episode is: does Joe Hendry win the NXT or TNA World Title this year? I'm gonna say hell no. He's not winning either one of them, man. He's a very popular name. He's hot right now as far as name recognition, but world champion, I think not. What say you?
I'm gonna go with I believe in Joe Hendry, and I'm gonna say Joe Hendry wins the world title for TNA at Bound for Glory. Why not capitalize? It's only right. Omar, what say you?
Um, I gotta believe that there is going to be a chase for that TNA World Title, so I don't think it's going to happen immediately. I think it's more likely now that we just had a title change at NXT, that he might get that one first. But he is the hot thing, so um, we saw this with LA Knight and a few others recently where they've gotten that sort of rocket ship strapped to their back, but not really champion translated to championship gold. So who's to say? But I could see a short run with Joe Hendry as the NXT champion, adding fire to this TNA NXT feud that they're or promotion that they're having.
I could dig
Fire.
it. I
I
could dig
dig
it.
it.
I could dig it.
Dig it.
Yeah, your man Joe Hendry may or may not be the champ, but one thing's for sure: the show is about to start, and it's about to start right now. Peace to y'all, it's the Ringside Club Paul. A.O. Blame Boogie, Chad Law. The power's back, triple power bomb. The big dog trio in the stream yard. Go outside, hit the venue guard. It's all love when you see us, Lord. Back to the pad, on air for the pod. Ringside Club, intro to the squad. Let the show start. Yes, sir. Peace, 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 peace. You know the vibes, man, like we usually do. Live every Thursday night, 9:05 live, that is.
Yes,
It's your
sir,
boys,
ski.
Best in the Game, episode number
Yeah.
95 of the Ringside Club.
Closing in.
Broadcasting, like I said, from the Empire Tri-State. What's good? How we feeling tonight, man?
I'm happy to be back, man. I've been absent last week, you know what I'm saying? We're celebrating 4th of July. I missed the last episode, rare, absent, you know what I'm saying? Absentee notice from the kid, but I'm here right now. We closing in on episode 100. It's closing in on us real soon, but y'all see the merch, RSC. Make sure you go pick it up at ringsideclub.com, pardonmyfresh.com. Y'all see how we brand ourselves, you know what I'm saying? Gang shit. It's humid as shit right now. Got the AC and the fan on. Got
Peak
the
summer.
Dewey on right now.
Peak
You know what I'm
summer.
saying?
Peak
I
summer.
might take the Dewey off at some point, but right now I just like, nah, I can't let the forehead sweat just fucking go crazy in here. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I'm letting it breathe tonight. I am
see.
letting it breathe tonight.
I see. You know what I'm
But yeah,
saying?
man, before we get started, reintroducing ourselves and introducing our guest for this evening, I want to let everybody know when eyes and ears reach, you can find us at theringsideclub.com. All the past episodes are there. All the future episodes are there. You can definitely subscribe across all podcast platforms. That means Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Leave us a 5-star review, some kind of little comment right there. It
Please.
definitely helps us out. You can definitely subscribe to the YouTube. We're on air right now, but if you don't catch us live, you can catch us on demand right there on the YouTube. As far as me, myself, and Irene, I go by the name of A.O. Baker. You can find me everywhere at I am A.O. Baker. Makes a lot of sense, right? Chad, what's good?
It's the kid, CHAD, LAW, Young Godiva himself, the former RSC Predictions Heavyweight Champion, longest reigning RSC Predictions Heavyweight Champion. I'm live and direct in the spot. Y'all can find me. All social media is Chad Law. On Twitter, Chad_Law. Instagram, Chad Law. Thread, Chad Law. TikTok, Chad Law. Snapchat, Chad Law 100. We're moving and shaking, man. It's just another episode in the books. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of shit to recap. But right now, we got our guest in the building, Omar Jamal, the voice. What's up, King?
Hey, what's up, AO? What's up, Chad? Appreciate y'all having me on. Again, Omar Jamal. I'm the voice of the Grappital region. You can find me online. Omar Jamal is OJ_purple stuff on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, on not on any of the other platforms. I don't think. I might have a Pinterest page from back in the day still open. I don't know. But yeah, just shout outs to Pinterest, man. You get your ideas.
Pinterest still there, it's all good.
I don't have TikTok. I installed that on my phone and it like just ran my battery down, just shrunk that sucker down. So I said, nope, I'm good.
It ran your phone battery down, ran your bodily energy down. TikTok has that
pretty
effect.
much. Them little dances and stuff. I was like, I can't keep up, man. People just don't dance with their bodies no more. They just do the hand thing. Okay. But yeah. Just doing ring announcing, pro wrestling commentary. I got a YouTube channel, so you can check up some of my matches, some of my commentating, and yeah, just keeping it 100, keeping it cool. Shout out to 4th of July. Shout out to hot dogs, glizzies.
You enjoying a glizzy? That's what's up, son. That's what's up, my boy.
Yeah, beef brats and everything else, man. Shout out to grilling.
I was kind of tempted by one at the barbecue. It was getting burnt to perfection. I was like, I might have to snap it in half and put it in a burger bun. And I was like, you know what? Never mind. I ain't even going to do it to myself. I'm going to just pass on it. I'm going to just go ahead and eat
I thought we ran out of buns, and I was going to bust out like the flour tortilla and do it that way. And I found a pack of buns like just kind of in the back of the freezer. And I was like, okay, thank you. Because I ain't want to have to,
Eating a glizzy and a flour tortilla is fucking remarkable.
I mean, you got to do something different with that. You got to cut it up and put in an omelet or something. You can't just have it straight up in the tortilla. That's kind of wild.
Colombian shit I might have heard in some
Ladies and gentlemen, you were tuned in to Thursday night Glizzy Talk.
Holy shit. Wow, pause. Wow.
Glizzy mania right here. Nah, man, Omar, appreciate you, man. Welcome to the Ringside Club. You mentioned ring announcement. Want to let everybody know that you got a couple of shows coming up that you're going to be a part of, and then we're going to talk a little bit about how you got into ring announcing, and we're going to talk about what's going on in the world. But what you got coming up, man?
Yes, sir. So on July 27th, I'm the ring announcer for Flying V Fights, which is where theater meets professional wrestling. And that's going to be at Silver Spring, Maryland, in the Black Box Theater. And is Flying V Fights for the Gold. The main event for that one is going to be TJ Sykes, the Red Prince, taking on Cheeseburger, who you might know from ROH, the world famous Cheeseburger.
The amazing CB.
And they're going to be competing for the first ever Flying V Fighting Championship, which is a new belt. Flying V Fights has run for about, I'd say, 5 or 6 years now. And this is the first year or the first time that they're introducing a heavyweight title to Flying V Fights. And so the two of them are fighting to be the first one. It's a great show, great lineup. We got some tag action, trios action. You'll see Jordan Blade in action, Eel O'Neill. Brooke Valentine, a few great other ones.
Eel O'Neill is nice. Eel
O'Neill is working.
Nice.
Yeah, one of the hardest working people in indie wrestling, especially in this area. So that's happening July 27th, and then August 3rd, it's going to be Assault Wrestling Alliance. That's out in Waldorf, Maryland. So if you're in the area, check either one of those shows out. Assault Wrestling Alliance has a show. It's called now I think it's called Temperatures Rising, which is a funny name for a show.
I fuck with it.
Yeah, because it's a hot as hell summer, probably hotter than most. And I remember the locker room where we at the last show, someone took the AC out the side of the building, or kind of just robbed it. And so we was up there changing for the show and sweating like just buckets. And I'm like, man, I need a.
That's villainous.
I need to change shower. I know, like. it was one of those units that's outside, and they just like it was just like just snatched the day before the show, and they're just like, oh, we're gonna get another one in here, So they had the meeting and everything. I was like, yo, can we have the meeting somewhere where it's ventilated, where the fans are running? Because this is wow. But wrestling, the show got to go on no matter what. I mean, thankfully the arena was air conditioned, but it was just backstage was kind of a little stuffy. But I would say Waldorf, they got a new AC. So check them out August 3rd. The Sandman, ECW legend, is going to be in attendance. He's going to
Wow.
be making an appearance there. And some great wrestling happening over there too. So
Very
that's
fire.
happening there. If you're up north, I would say September 8th. Wait till that point. Paulsboro, New Jersey. That's where Fight Pro Wrestling. That's Fight with two T's.
Okay.
They're going to be doing their tapings. Enter the Fight season 2. This is like the season finale. So they're taping 3 shows back to back to back. So it's like a nice 3-hour event. That's going to be in New Jersey, September 8th. But just keep checking me out, OJ Purple Stuff, on all of your platforms, and I will keep posting about those shows coming up. So you can come check me out, check out some great pro wrestling talent that's live and direct, whether you're in the Capital region, you're up north, or wherever I can get booked, hopefully.
We're bringing
Book
some
this
active
man.
people through. We're bringing some busy
hmm
people through to the Ringside Club, man. That's how we giving it up. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
yeah. I'm going to give you all a shout out on the microphone. Like, shout out to my Red Side Club front row,
Hey, man,
I'm
give
saying,
us
I
that
see
incentive.
y'all.
We'll play that on the show, man, for
The
sure.
Ringside
Of
Club.
course.
You know how that go.
Yeah.
I want to start with Prepped and Cooked this week before we go into our pay-per-view breakdown. Prepped and Cooked
Let
is a
them know.
segment that I run this week, that I run weekly. Basically, what it means is I'm a food content guy as well too. So when it comes to Prepped and Cooked, Prepped is to me it's a wrestler that I'm scoping for the week that is currently on a trajectory of a downfall, that might be looking towards being cooked. And cooked is essentially a wrestler for that week that is just fried, sauteed, baked. They're done. They're over. They're out of here. So a
Now,
lot
the
of people.
asterisk before you continue, this is strictly creative. This is strictly creative. So this is like, does creative have anything for me, brother? No. This is what we're talking about.
And it's for the week too, so it's not just like an overall career. It's not just for them. It's just a specific week.
Somebody
Do I
could hop
choose
out of that frying pan next week.
It's
some of
true.
the people that have been previously cooked have been Pentagon Junior, Zelina Vega, um, who we cooked previously, Natalia. Quite a few people have been cooked repeatedly, or I've tried to avoid
Frying
them.
pan Hall of
Yeah,
Fame, Natalia.
frying pan Hall of Fame, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Like they are just done. You know what I'm saying? So my prep for this week is going to go Pete Dunne. He just lost to Bronson Reed in a singles match on Raw, and I currently believe that he might be in a revamp. I hope that he gets interjected into the Intercontinental title scene along with I said Bronson Reed. I mean, shit, might as well be Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, Sami Zayn, Ilya Dragunov. Pete Dunne could be in that scene, but it seems like they're going to bring him back with Sheamus and probably go for the tag titles because they could use some competition for the tag titles on Raw. But Pete Dunne just seems very directionless, currently spinning wheels, if you will. So I think he's a good candidate. When I look at the results of every company for the past week, I can't say Pete Dunne is cooked, but I definitely say he's prepped right now. So, fellas, what say you?
Omar, you got it.
Well, I want to ask: is Tyler Bate like hurt or something? Because I know they were
Yes,
last tagging
he is
together.
hurt.
Okay,
He is hurt.
so
He's out
yeah,
for a
it's kind
while,
of
so at least the rest of the year. At least the rest of the year, he's done.
yeah. So finding something to do for him is definitely crucial right now. So you're right. I think he might be prepped. Because if they're trying to find something with if they're trying to find something for him to do on the singles tip, or at least give him something to do on the tag titles, it's
He's
going to take a
busy,
second for that to hit. Yeah,
but he could do
it's
well in the Intercontinental Division, though. The Intercontinental title division is pretty damn solid right now. You know what I'm
hmm
saying? I can
that's
only
true.
hope that he goes in there, but right now I just don't see him finding a place there. That's why I just think the tag team division with Sheamus, it just works because of their former alliance. So I think
Yeah,
that's why I can't say he's cooked for now. I have hope that Pete Dunne will find his way in the next couple of
yeah,
yeah,
and it
we'll
gives
see.
him some friction and like a possible singles run if Tyler Bate does come back, down the
Right.
line. If he's tagging with Sheamus and getting some success, then it becomes, okay, well, what happens now that I'm back?
You know,
So
I also think, and speaking of this topic, now that I bring up Pete Dunne in the prep, I think he could go back to NXT and challenge Ethan Page. That could
Possible.
actually work.
Yeah.
That could work. That could actually work. Ayo, what say you? Agree, disagree?
I agree. Two thoughts, right? I'm gonna answer the first question last. You just mentioned him going back to NXT. I think that'd be perfect for him. You know what I mean? Like I think that would be really, really dope. But the bigger thought about NXT right now is like slowly but surely Triple H is turning this back into what Black and Gold
Definitely.
was.
That Intercontinental title division. It is
Yeah.
basically NXT right now.
Yeah, he's turning it back into let's pick up whoever's hot and really, really good and give them, a platform to do what they do down
Yes.
to NXT. It's not Black and Gold, but it's getting back to
No, it's red and white. It's Raw.
Yeah, but it's getting back to that vibe of like, holy shit, I don't believe this person would have shown up. Who would have
Agreed.
seen this coming? And just now seeing interesting combinations. Now we got TNA involved, blah blah blah. So I think like Pete Dunne makes a lot of sense in that in that circle down there. But yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with him being prepped. I had that thought, I had that idea. The last match that he lost. I thought to myself, I'm like, damn, like Pete Dunne really not too. I had a Pete Dunne action figure somewhere around here. You know what I'm saying? Like Pete Dunne is like one of my favorite guys, and it seems like he's been spinning the hell out of his wheels.
Why do you have a Pete Dunne action figure?
Why not? Pete
Dunne's all the action figures. You could have got
the bruiserweight.
I got the bruiserweight.
Yo, let me just get that one. Let me just get that.
I got the bruiserweight. That was a gift from Ron, man. Peace to the guy Ron Dunn.
Peace to Ron. Peace to Ron Dunn, man.
It's somewhere up there on the shelf. Pete Dunne was one of my guys. And he's been spinning his wheels. Like I was happy when he initially got his name back. He wasn't Butch anymore.
Yes, he's no longer Butch.
So it's like
Thank God.
I'm hoping that this is like that slow grind and the thing about Pete Dunne is he's still pretty young. Like I don't think he's 30 years old yet. You know what I mean?
And his match is still slap. Like this Bronson
nice.
Reed match was actually like, damn, they could have had a best of 7. And I hate to think that a lot of people could have best of 7s, but like
Bronson Reed and Pete Dunne, I watched that all day. I'm fans of both of them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I could have had a best of 7 of that and been just as like, damn, this is actually to the point where like if they ended up becoming a tag team, this is so strange bedfellows of WWE. But you know what? This could actually work.
I can see it. They make more sense because both of them have a mean streak that Tyler Bate doesn't necessarily have.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Tyler Bate's way too happy-go-lucky for me.
Right. Like Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate are only really a tag team just because they've been around each other for mad long. But attitude-wise, they don't really match up.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
So, yeah, it's good cop, bad cop with them. But, yeah, he's prepped. He's prepped right now.
I just had two weird thoughts about this. With Pete Dunne, for some reason, I pictured him on WWE Speed. And I know that's probably not a good place for him to be.
He ain't on Speed, which is why he ain't on Speed.
Oh, let me get this action figure. I'll be right back.
He could be on Speed
because it becomes a clash of styles, like kind of how Drew Gulak was like with the 205 and the cruiserweights and stuff, and he was like, he wasn't doing all that high flying. He was doing mat stuff. I think Pete Dunne and the cruiserweight on Speed would just be like sick in terms of just
finger snapping
with that time limit. Yes.
With the finisher, I forgot what his finisher is. With the top of my head, damn, I'm tight. I forgot it, but his finisher is sick, and I think he would
bitter end.
Bitter end. His matches on Speed fit perfectly.
Yeah, and then the other thought was,
cruiserweight.
Yeah, damn, that's a big action figure too. No lie. So the other thought was with this White Six thing. They're pretty much adding to the family. So like if for some reason he does fall off and ends up cooked, that might be the next place we see him.
That's
if they're looking to recruit people.
That is a heinous place to send my man.
I hope not.
He's cooked at that point. If he
I was about to say, like, if he goes Wyatt 6, man, put him.
He
in
might as well go
AEW.
He might as well go AEW at that point. So I'm gonna go with my. Here we go with our cooked part of the week. I'm going to go with Kyle O'Reilly. I know Kyle O'Reilly is a part of the conglomeration with Mark Briscoe and Pockets, whatever the fuck that is. But I'm just sick of seeing Kyle O'Reilly at this point, man. He just looks like the guy who's going to change my oil at Valvoline. I have no care for Kyle O'Reilly whenever he pops up on AEW programming. and they give me no reason to care about it, to the point that they threw him in a faction with Mark Briscoe and fucking Pockets, Orange Cassidy, called the Conglomeration. Busta Rhymes should be furious right now. Busta Rhymes should be mad that he let really one interchangeable motherfucker come through. Like, Mark Briscoe is dope. Pockets is fine in his own pocket, but dog, Kyle O'Reilly is cooked beyond belief. There's no coming back for Kyle O'Reilly, I believe. Like, he has no merchandise. He has no excitement. He had a match with Zack Sabre Jr. that was so dry, you needed lotion. Pause. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know Ayo was probably enjoying that match. Ayo enjoyed that match for all of his reasons. He had the lotion ready for all of his reasons. But me, I was just like, nah, this match is
what are we doing here?
What?
You know what I'm saying? Like, Ayo's a Zack Sabre guy. Like, I take Zack Sabre in dosages. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it works for me sometimes, but like with Kyle O'Reilly, I'm like, Kyle O'Reilly's so dead in the water that I'm just like, yo, dog, I can't even with this. Like, how is this a main event of a fucking television show? It's crazy to me. So, Kyle O'Reilly, he's just cooked, man. He's just cooked. He's making his cook debut tonight. And I have to say, because I can't use Pentagon because he never matched. I can't use Ray Phoenix, he never matched. So, Kyle O'Reilly, he's cooked this week. Fellas, what say you?
Is Kyle O'Reilly out of the group chat, like, in terms of, because, Adam Cole and Roderick Strong, like,
he's still trying to get recruited to that faction of Cole.
like they pretty much,
holy shit.
yeah, backstage talk. I mean, they got him over there.
Until you
But,
mention
like,
that group, they are so cold, bro. Like, nobody mentions that group ever until you just mentioned them. I forgot about that faction until you just said something.
It's the only reason he's there. He's only there because, they were already there. They were already cooking, doing some things. And he was like, okay, let me come on. Because I think for the longest time, they kept saying, when's Kyle O'Reilly coming up? When's Kyle O'Reilly coming up? Where's he coming up? That's like the other shoe that's supposed to drop. He shows up. I think he goes against them for a little bit. And then it's like, they're just doing whatever with him.
International
now they got him in this.
Roddy. He had that at Dynasty. And that match was cool. That match was solid, but clearly you see what's happened since April. How's that been going for Kyle?
Nothing since. Yeah. I mean, unless he's going to, turn on his current stablemates, like do something against, I like that you call them Pockets, unless he does something against them and Mark Briscoe, then,
Very, very possible. Like, that kind of seems like the story because Mark is the Ring of Honor World Champion. The Kingdom are the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. You'll never know that. Matt Taven is a former Ring of Honor champion. This seems like it'll give them the reason to all tie in together. For those of y'all that watch a Ring of Honor programming, I don't know. I haven't tapped in a while. It's been a while for me, but yeah, that's kind of where I feel like this Kyle O'Reilly story or anything Kyle O'Reilly does is going to go.
Yeah, but that's the only. I'd say that's the only way back. He can't keep wrestling Zack Sabre Jr. because they're going to run out of lotion companies to sponsor that match.
He's going to kick Pocket's head in, to much to the dismay of everyone, and the conglomeration is going to break up. And a faction in AEW won't last past a month. Go figure. Hey, yo, what say you?
Yeah, I don't even think that was built to. I don't know what the point of putting them together was.
So they got a faction name. You know that?
Yeah, but I think that was just something for them to do, very, very temporary. This feels like summertime shit. By the time we get to the end of August, Wembley time, the conglomeration's out of here.
They call it a summer fling.
I think it's a summer fling. It's just some summer shit,
which in all honesty is fine. You know what I'm saying? It's some little side hustle shit that they're doing right now. They remind me of the Union. Remember the Union when it was the big show when Al Snow and all of them? They remind me of the Union. Mankind. You know what I mean?
Coming to the ring of 2x4s.
Exactly. That's exactly what this is. It was just the most random grouping of people that came together because they needed somebody to go opposite the corporation.
Yo, dog, I can't believe you even remember that faction, my nigga.
Neither can I.
Wow.
But that's pretty much what this is.
Annals of history. Wow.
That's pretty much what this is. You'll see Kyle O'Reilly more than likely somewhere close to Blood and Guts because, Mark Briscoe is in there. But Kyle O'Reilly's a tag team guy. So put him in a tag team. Him and Roderick Strong We're not gonna get Red Dragon. That's dead. You know what I mean? So put him back in the tag team with Roderick Strong. They'll be fine as a tag team, and then we're done. End the discussion. But singles, they're not doing anything with him singles. He's there to have good exhibition matches. And again, like I usually say about TV, sometimes it's fine because they're not selling you that shit. They sell you what's happening on pay-per-views.
Kyle O'Reilly, you are cooked this week, my boy. Here's the trajectory of you maybe challenging Mark Briscoe for the Ring of Honor World Title at the next Ring of Honor pay-per-view. I think that'll probably end up being the case. I mean, it won't actually be a bad feud or a bad turnout. I think that could be pretty solid, but yeah.
Put him in a tag team.
Let's get to this recap of Money in the Bank, man. It's our time of the week, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of shows have had their Money in the Bank recap. We don't got to spend a lot of time on it because it's Thursday now, but we can go away with what we like to do since we are a Thursday show and the pay-per-view was Saturday. We're going to go around the rings and we're going to give our highlight and our low point of the pay-per-view. Summarize it real quick. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the reviews have been going on, so we're going to keep it brief. I figure we'll start with our highlight and our low point. Ayo, you want to go first with your highlight and your low point?
Yeah, let me just run down. It was five.
Run down the card.
5 matches on the card. I am pulling the card up right now. Boom. Money in the Bank 2024 live from Toronto. We had, where are the results? All right. Drew McIntyre, of course, won the Money in the Bank ladder match. Sami Zayn defended his Intercontinental Championship in a match against Braun Breaker. So far, I'm 0 for 2. Damian Priest defeated Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. That was turned into a triple threat once Drew decided to cash in. Of course, CM Punk got involved. Tiffany Stratton is Miss Money in the Bank. And the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, and Tama Tonga. They beat Cody Rhodes, the current world champ, WWE champ, pardon me, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton. That women's Money in the Bank, I think that might have been my favorite match of the night. Crazy shit happened. Crazy shit occurred.
So we starked yourself out.
Yeah, I was just so happy that some of those clearly things went a little left, a little right. I'm just happy that nobody seemed as though they were seriously injured or seriously hurt. You know what I mean? Because they took some wild risks. And going into any ladder match, especially a Money in the Bank or any kind of TLC situation, that's what's going to happen. A lot of stunts, a lot of big risks. But fortunately, nobody was hurt. So I picked Chelsea Green to win that, and Chelsea Green took the last big bump of that match through a couple of tables on the outside, and Tiffany Stratton went up and grabbed that briefcase. And I'm looking for – it was going to be either of those two in my mind. Either of them would have made sense just as far as being annoying to the 11th power, holding that Money in the Bank until, they finally attempt to cash in. So right. Tiffany Stratton, she's about to kill it, being annoying as hell. We're going to get custom Money in the Banks, mad glitter and shit. And yeah.
Tiffy time.
It is Tiffy time.
Mm-hmm. Tiffy in the Bank.
I don't know that this was really – I don't know that I have anything that I can just outright say was super low. Outside of the Damian Priest botch, like that non-kick out, to me, I thought that felt like it should have been – that might have been my low. And that's one of those things where, shit happens. You know what I mean? That basically looked like Seth hits the stomp. That should have immediately triggered the music, and it seems as though they were a couple of seconds too late on that. Or Seth just shouldn't have gone for the pin. Maybe he should have just been tired and not gone for the pin.
Falcon Arrow was very much so upsets Allie, but I'm just like, you didn't need to go for a Falcon Arrow. Like this could have just hit the stomp and it kept it moving. You know what I'm saying?
But to be like completely honest, like if that's a low light, it is what it is. Like I'm not a WrestleMania dude. You know what I mean? Like shit happens. End of the day, it was a really, really solid show. It was tight. I one of the things I tweeted out that I loved the most about the show was before the show even started. I just loved the art direction and the music selection that they had for the show. Like it was fun, like before anything, a 2-hour pre-show that was done really well. They're doing backstage interviews. Michael Cole's killing it with Seth Rollins. Top to bottom, the presentation in the show, I enjoyed. So ain't no real low light for me. But Tiffany Stratton and that women's Money in the Bank was my highlight.
Omar, what say you? What's your highlight and your low light?
I'm gonna say my highlight had to be the women's match. Also, I think all the women got their shine in that match. There was a lot of just high spots, if you will, just a lot of action happening. Yeah, and even like Naomi, Io Sky, just top to bottom, even Lyra Valkyria, they all got their moments in the match. So I couldn't say that they were.
Sidebar, Omar, Black Power. I don't want to put
Yeah,
Naomi as a cooked candidate. So like that's why I'm trying to hold out. I'm trying to hope for better. But she's
yeah.
fucking fried, man. She is on the way to being fucking fried in WWE right now. Like times like looking at Naomi, I'm just like, yo, I wish she would have like she did all she could in TNA, and I damn near think maybe she should have just tried her luck at AEW. Like this is one time where I'm like, maybe she should have went to AEW.
Yo, but to be honest, Chad, I don't think that she did all she could. She had one run. She had one
She had
run.
the
She didn't
best. She had the
lose until the
best
end.
year. She had the best year in any women in TNA.
Right. But then
Mhm.
the thing about the booking, what needs to happen at that point is let's throw some adversity. Let's see how she gets tested. There's somebody that turns on her. There's feuds that you can have that don't
Her and
involve the
Jordan Grace
title.
should have had more. They should
Yeah.
have had a blood feud damn near over
But
that knockout title.
but the
I
point
agree.
is like she was featured there as one of the top, and I
Yeah, I
thought she
agree.
still had a lot to
Yeah.
do there.
I feel
And
you. I
a
feel you.
lot of had to do with her, her presence in WWE. So for her to go back, to where she made her name, made sense. Plus her husband's right there, so it's like it's better
But
for
it's
the
like
family that way.
she went back to exactly what she was doing before she left. Like she picked up where she left off,
Mm.
which
I don't know.
career wise,
I think we need to see it shake out. It's kind of like but she's considered like a longtime vet in the locker room, well respected. So I don't think she's in a position where now she feels any kind of way about where she goes up and down
she's
the
Drew
card. But
Holiday of the women's division in WWE.
yeah,
She's a vet, a two-time champion. She's just a
mhm,
good hand at this point. That's all Naomi
yeah,
is. You can't expect more
yeah.
from Naomi in the ring or the character-wise, or like don't expect for the big storyline. Like this is Naomi. Take it as is. You know what I'm saying? She's a
Yeah.
good hand.
But you know what, though? It would be a surprise if she did get a title run at some point, down the line, or even, pretty, it's one of those things where if it fits into the booking, or if it becomes a transitional thing where the title goes off of one woman to another, I could see that happening down the line. Same with like someone like a Natalia. She can go back to NXT and help out the talent there.
Yo,
But
crazy
I
enough,
don't think,
I want Natalia to
yeah,
go to AEW. I actually
yeah.
do want Natalia to go to AEW. I think she would help out AEW's women's division alongside Serena Deeb, really well Mercedes, like that vet. I think would be
Yeah,
really good for Natty to go to AEW. I think she would actually
imagine Natalia and the Owen next year. That would just be
like
wild.
that alone is a story that I actually would watch. Like, nah, this is Natty Hart competing in the Owen Hart tournament. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
they
watching.
did that with Jeff
I'm
Jarrett
watching.
this year. Yeah.
Yes, I'm watching. So yeah.
So I would say that's the highlight. I would say there were many lowlights. I actually particularly enjoyed the main event. I didn't think I would, but Jacob Fatu kind of just made that for me in terms of just
Jamal
how,
Werewolf, B.
yeah, just seeing him in action and everything. I thought it was just going to be like, okay, they're just going to put over, the Samoan boys again, and that's it. We're just going to further this. But you really thought that Cody and his team, Randy Orton and Sami Zayn I'm sorry, not Sami Zayn, Randy Orton and Kevin Owens were going to pull that one out. But until the end. So I would say that would probably just be not the lowest, but that's kind of like that's where I expected to just kind of for it to fall flat after like two huge Money in the Banks and a title defense and a cash in. I just kept thinking, well, the main event's going to fall flat, but it exceeded expectations. So I would say that would probably count if I was low on the card, but I think the whole lineup was pretty good.
I'm gonna say my highlight was not seeing the Wyatt Six. I'm so thankful they made no cameo appearances for that whole pay-per-view. Fuck them. I hate the story already. I want nothing to do with the story. It feels like a Broadway play when I watch the Wyatt Six get on camera. I think I'm just so used to the Triple H era And Omar,
It doesn't fit, right? Why it six? It doesn't seem like it fits Triple H, right?
yo, it doesn't fit the Triple H era. It's just too much like a High School Musical for me, yo. Like Omar, I am the guy. I'm the guy of the RSC that's gonna just keep it too blunt. I'm gonna let everyone know I'm not. I'm the outlier in a lot of this shit. Everyone's like, yo, give it a chance. Maybe it'll. But Bo Dallas, and then, but when it's, and I'm just like, nah, I'm good. Like I'm like
Yeah.
Bo. Like you know what? Bo Dallas by himself, like on Raw with that little backstage cameo with Adam Pearce. I liked it.
That
But
was
this,
probably more chilling than any of the promos that we saw
yes.
up until that point. Like, oh, he's out of makeup and out of everything, and he's just
Because what
there
is the
in the
back and forth
office.
with Uncle Howdy doing for me? You know what I'm saying? The
Yeah,
fucking you got Nikki Cross in a just what is Nikki like? Nobody's scared of this group. Sheamus said, "Oh,
yeah,
Sheamus wasn't scared of them. Nobody's scared of them but Gable." So it's like the Fog Machine, Gable, the Box. Like I'm like, yo, I'm glad they kept this off the pay per view. And I was gonna say my highlight was the women's Money in the Bank, but for the sake of that, I'm gonna say, yo, the Wyatt Six not making a cameo appearance, super highlight. Like I'm glad they kept that shit off this pay per view. You know what I'm saying? Like no spooky shit, no pop ups. You know what I'm saying? No running around. No just they left them alone. You know what I'm saying? They didn't do too much with that. My low points. I don't really think I have a low point like you guys said. If I did, it would probably be the botch from Seth. But other than that, maybe a low point would probably be. I'm so used to these PLEs being so turned that like maybe the crowd is my low point. Like these overseas PLEs in Canada's right there. It's not too far off, but I'm
yeah.
so
They're
used to my
hockey.
Saturday PLEs being like on fire that I'm just like, this crowd wasn't really crazy.
North
Yeah, if you
America's
notice
spoiled, man.
if you notice the live PLE crowds, that's where they have actual football or soccer being played. So the soccer, they do the chants and all that stuff. They get into it.
Yes,
Hockey crowds, not
yes,
so much. They're gonna beat on the boards. US, we just watching basketball. We sit back.
yes.
They do that. This is awesome. I tell you, after the PLEs overseas, though, I hear a "This is awesome" chat, and I'm just like, really? That's what y'all got?
I agree.
Come
That's
on, man.
that's that's how I felt. I was just like, this is all we got. I was like,
This
damn.
all we got? Come on, man. They doing Roy Kenton and here we go with them and ole and stuff, man. I like the energy that they have, man. But
Best
I
chance in the
mean
business,
Toronto
and then you just get some claps over here, you know?
and in Toronto only can Canadian crowds only go up for Canadians. That's why Chelsea Green got a big pop. That's why
Yes,
Triss, came out there. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. So they're gonna go up for their own more than anything. Um, and then, what y'all think of the CM Punk involvement with Drew
It's my
in
favorite
that
thing going,
match?
and
one of my favorite.
yeah, it's one
Definitely
of
a
my favorite
favorite.
things going in WWE. Like that feud is built on hatred, right?
It
Hatred and
reminded me.
heat,
I forgot
hatred
about
and
it.
heat, hatred and heat. You know what I mean?
I
Ah,
forgot
damn.
all about that feud, Seth and Punk, until they interacted. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot these guys actually interacted.
Yeah,
Holy shit. That for
not
me,
exactly. Ah, here's Omar. Bring it
no,
I'm
back
back.
to the stage, brother. Yo, Omar,
no.
you want to hang out with us? We're about to bring our second guest of the evening on. You want to hang out or?
Yeah, I can hang for a little bit. Yeah, sure.
All right, cool. So, no, we do. We bring fire guests to the stage. We got my man,
Banger.
LaDarius Brown. What's up,
Darius,
brother?
what up, King?
Hey, what's up, everybody? How's everybody doing tonight?
Yo, we
Pretty
good, man.
good,
We
pretty good,
good.
pretty
What
good.
what's happening?
So, real quick, wanted to welcome you to the Ringside Club. We're finishing up on Money in the Bank. Did you get a chance to catch Money in the Bank?
Yeah.
What was since we're talking about a quick highlight from Money in the Bank? What was your favorite moment of the night?
Well, my favorite moment, well, there's two, but the one that stood out, I think the women's Money in the Bank ladder match to me.
We
To
were all in
me,
That's the
unison. We were all in
consensus.
unison. That was
That's the
all
like,
in unison.
consensus.
Hmm.
I put
5
that on
mics.
Twitter. It's like that's the best Money in the Bank ladder match I've ever seen, men's or women's. It was everybody was just, and especially that spot with Chelsea Green at the end was kind of like the
Sensational. I called that on the King of the Rings podcast on Tuesday. I was like, yo, Tiffany's gonna win and she's gonna knock Chelsea right off her block when everyone thinks Chelsea's gonna get it. And boy, that bump that Chelsea took,
yeah.
I saw her brace
brutal.
for Impact. Like, oh shit, I'm falling through the table.
Yeah, she did. And she was like, she knew, and she was like, well, how do I do it? It just, she took it in stride. I mean, would I took that bump? Probably not. But I mean, yeah, I'm not getting the money to do it. So I'm like, nah. You want me to do what now? Through what?
From what height?
That bump looked crazy. I ain't gonna hold you. That table, that ladder table ratio, like that whole scene, I was like, nah. Chelsea Green got over on that one. If she didn't have
like,
moment,
here's a question, right? Everybody has a chair or couch or whatever in their home. Would you step up on that couch and just jump backwards right now? Just jump backwards.
No, I wouldn't.
No.
Right. She was on a ladder falling out of the ring. You're talking about 15 feet. Absolutely not.
I wouldn't do it.
Through a table. Absolutely not.
No.
Nah, you gotta run the check way up for me to even have a conversation.
Right. Hunter, listen. You want me to do what? Thank you. I respect you. I know you're the boss and all. That's a no for me.
Absolutely.
So,
what was final thoughts on Money in the Bank?
What was your low point of the pay-per-view?
Oh, low point.
Do you even have one? Because we all really couldn't agree to one. Besides maybe the botch with Seth and Damian, that was about it.
Yeah, I mean that was pretty much the low point to me. Like they were like if you want to be like nitpicky, but I'm not one to be really nitpicky because if it doesn't to me impact, like if it doesn't really stand out, you don't remember it. I just kind of overlook it. But if we go with that set spot, look, I understand the ref did his job, and it's like Damian didn't do his job, because the ref because they teach you just go 1, 2, 3. The ref was not just keep it going. I guess Damian was supposed to kick out, and then he didn't kick out, and then everyone's looking like, well, we just saw. So shouldn't Seth be the and
I got a question for you, Omar, as a ring announcer. When you see a moment like that, are you waiting for the bell, or how does that go?
I'm gonna be honest. This has happened a few times where I mostly look to the ref because I'm usually sitting next to the timekeeper, and I'm either ringing the bell or the timekeeper is ringing the bell. But the referee has to make that motion, ring the bell, and then I gotta figure out what the decision is. I remember one time I actually yelled at the ref, "Who won?" I gotta
figure out the decision.
Quick. Not like I'm making it up, but usually you could see visually, okay, that's clearly a 1, 2, 3, the pin. But sometimes it's a DQ or something. And I usually, the referee usually tells me I'm going to signal you because sometimes I know the finishes. And one thing I learned too with shows is always if there's a finish and it's on the board or something, because backstage they tell I'm not revealing too much, but they tell the talent with the finish. Sometimes they don't, but I got to know the finish. So I'll even go to promote him who's going over? Because I need to know this. I don't want to be ass out when I have to say, here's your winner. And I call the wrong guy. So that's when I, make sure I know that. But it's mostly the referee's job to, sort of make sure that that's clear and cut. And if he said it was a 2, you got to go with it. Now, same token, if he did slap the third count and said this is a title change, they can't do anything but make the title change and redo the whole thing in terms of sort of rewrite on the fly, it's a title change. So I've seen that happen too, where was announcing a match and the referee slapped 3, and it was all of a sudden I'm picking up my mic and no, and you do that, and then you go outside and you got to reshoot some of the videos and promos that they're doing. They're reshooting photos and stuff with the photographer because that's what that's you got to maintain it. It's the integrity of the sport.
Are there people that you've worked with, whether it be commentators or refs, non-wrestlers, that prefer to not know the finish?
I would say there was probably one commentator I worked with who basically was I don't, I want to be surprised, but for the most part, it just helped with, calling the accuracy. So for the most part, we all want to know what's going to happen so that, so we can sell it better, more than anything. I get excited and I still get nervous when it's a title change and I know it's happening and I'm just like, oh shit, it's happening, and I got to work on saying "and new" or "and you're new," and not botch it up because you get so excited. So that every
Right.
time they have that thing with Samantha Irvin and like, oh, she's
Yeah.
emotional with Cody Rhodes, I'm like, shit, yeah, because the first thing we are fans. Everyone that's working in that business, even if you're just, if you do commentary, you're ringside, you're referee, you're a fan of it. So you're going to be emotionally invested. And, we're
100%.
just like everyone that's watching at home or everybody that's in the front row.
Or ringside, for that matter.
Hmm.
Yo, LaDarius, you just joined us real quick before we get into our next segment, next piece of business, man. Let everybody know where they can find you, what your podcast is, when it airs, et cetera, et cetera.
Sure. Well, I have the Sports and the World podcast. We're going to get back in the swing of things where, we're going to talk about wrestling, football season kind of around the corner as well. I've tossed around the idea of maybe basketball, but I got to figure out that fan base is very, yeah. Yeah. So it's,
I
I'll,
respect it.
yeah, it's like I'll talk about it, but I'm going to get 1,000. Well, you don't know ball, and I'm like, I don't want to go through that. But so that's coming back.
Protect your peace, King.
Yeah, it's like exactly. It's like, do I have to do it? Oh no, mate, my name's on the show. I don't have to do it. So I'm like, so probably with that, and then that's coming back soon. Just trying to get in the swing of things, get some guests and things of that nature. I also write about women's wrestling. I write about women's sports. Write about the other. So it's getting, it's always busy season, but it's going to definitely be busier season, I should say.
I hear that. Chad, where we at?
Well, shit. I wanna. Well, now we got all four of us here. I think I'm gonna go with Champions Watch since we got all four of us here. Before we get into Heatwave, we're flying by the episode, so we're doing good timing right now. Champions Watch is the segment that I like to do every week, where we basically pick a champion each week. That we gauge their week, and we all gauge whether their week is going good, bad. It's kind of like Prepped and Cook, but we each pick a champion and we take it from there. So my champion, while y'all still on y'all champion, is going to be Ethan Page in the NXT World Heavyweight Championship. He just won the world title in a rather backlash 2007 fashion from Trick Williams. And I was very surprised. I feel like I should have saw this coming, him winning the belt, because I know Shawn Spears will winning that title. Javon Evans is currently in a fucking fumble with NXT booking, and I've tried my hardest to not put Javon Evans in Prepped or Cooked because that's my guy, and I'm just like, I have faith that it's going to turn around for Javon Evans with that terrible, terrible booking of him. Like, you damn near should be putting the rocket to Javon Evans right now. Like, Javon Evans took Wesley's momentum and just went to the moon with it. So, like, I feel like Ethan Page is the best heel for right now because there is no heel in NXT right now. That I was saying this when Trick won the belt from Mello. I was like, yo, we're going to get a whole summer of Trick, Mello, and Ilya. And then Mello and Ilya got drafted, and I was like, well, it's going to be fucking crickets for Trick this summer. And then Noam Dar popped up, and I'm a Noam Dar guy. So I was like, this is cool. But I'm like, Noam Dar's not beating Trick. Then he gets taken out, and here comes Ethan Page. And I'm like, aha, this is going to work because all ego Ethan Page can get over it. And with this Forbidden Door with TNA, we're going to get that much closer to Ethan Page versus Josh Alexander on a fucking NXT PLE for the NXT title. And I'm salivating at the thought of that match. Like, I can't wait for those two to reunite on an NXT pay-per-view for a world title match. Like, never before done. I'm excited for that one. So I think Ethan Page is going to have a hell of a run. I think it was bait and switch with NXT in the WWE saying that Trick Williams is going to be the guy to bring in the CW network with a title. And I'm just like, but they're not going to CW for a minute. So I think we got some time here for like Trick to get back to that run. And for the most part, everyone in NXT that's a champion is what, a two-time champion? Adam Cole, Keith Lee, Karrion Kross, Finn Balor. Like, everyone gets at least 2 runs with the NXT title in this new era. You know
Was Cole a 3-time?
He might have been. You just corrected me, my nigga. He might actually be
No, I'm
3
asking.
times.
I'm legit asking. Was he a 3-time?
I think he might have been 3 times.
Yeah.
I think he might have been 3 times. So or he had a really long reign. I think that's what it might have been. The reign was so extensive it felt like a 3-time champion. But like, everyone gets at least one or two more. Samoa Joe was a 3-time champion, I think it was. Might have been 2 or 3, but Joe. Everyone gets another run with the NXT title at this point in this new era. So that's why I'm like, Trick losing it, he's going to win it back at some point, and we're going to be just fine. So Ethan Page winning, I think, is best for business with NXT because Trick needs some foils right now, and there's really nobody else. I'm not knocking Shawn Spears to hell, but like I'm not buying Shawn Spears as my NXT World Champion. Like I'm sorry, it's not happening. You know what I'm saying? Not happening. Fellas, what say you? Y'all agree, disagree? Y'all fuck with it? Shawn Spears before y'all get into y'all own. I mean, not Shawn Spears. Holy shit. Ethan Page is the NXT World Champion. Y'all fucking with it? Thumbs up, thumbs down?
I'm here for it. Thumbs up. I don't really got too much to add to that. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
All I'm gonna say is say his name and he appears. I believe Joe Hendry might have something to say about that title run for Ethan Page.
Are you saying, Omar, that you do in fact believe in Joe Hendry?
Yeah,
I believe in Joe Hendry.
I believe.
I don't live in London or
Dallas,
Mexico, Dallas, Moscow. But I think the Capital Region, I can speak on behalf of them. We believe.
I didn't believe at first. I ain't gonna hold you. I really didn't believe at first, but like now I'm like, I'm here. Like I'm here.
The song is a bop,
He's the new LA Night flash in the pan. Like I'm here.
Listen, my man got a song to go #1 on iTunes out of clear nowhere. So who am I to? Yeah. Who am I? Who am I not to believe in Joe Hendry?
So
I'll make my champion. Yeah, I'll make mine really, really quick. On the next episode of the Signature Move, I'm talking about how CM Punk is really Damian Priest's signature move at this point. The best way that he can defend his championship is CM Punk interference. So my champ of the week, I'm going with Damian Priest. I didn't expect him to go into Money in the Bank and walk out still champ. I thought Seth would have taken
crazy. He needed that win though. He needed to beat Seth to like really put his reign over the top.
You're right.
I can't believe everyone said that he was going to lose. I was like, why would he lose right now?
You're saying he needed it, and I'm not disagreeing. I just didn't think they were going to give it to him. Because I saw Seth versus Gunther as more of a marquee match that I would expect for a SummerSlam than a Damian Priest versus a Gunther. And I was wrong, and I'm happy about being wrong. But yeah, real quick, my champ of the week, he made it out. He's going to get his ass beat when we get to SummerSlam. But
I agree. I think the clock is definitely ticking for SummerSlam.
Yeah, the sand is definitely there's more sand at the bottom of his hourglass than there is at the top.
I agree.
But what I did like about him coming out of that pay-per-view was they didn't hide from it. They made it a point to have him do his backstage, his promo and say, look, one way or another, I walked into Money in the Bank as the champ and I walked out. And it's not how it gets done, it's does it get done? And it gets done, and I got it done.
You know what pissed me off? Was the gentleman's agreement. That really was so.
That was a rewrite.
I was just like, I watched Raw and I was just like, what is going on? I was like,
They definitely rewrote that. But
that was like, that's what happened. Like crumple it up. Never mind.
And then they're doing that too much. That stipulation on Seth's side too often these days. Well, we even just saw it in another. If I lose, I can't wrestle for this again. We just saw that with Wesley. It's okay. Well, if the champ loses the title, you're back in the picture. So really, what did you lose?
What was the point?
I know. I mean, it used to be it was like hair versus hair or some other mess like that, or leaving the Judgment Day would have been, our big stakes on Damian Priest's side because it actually would separate him if it did happen. But what did Seth really lose?
And I was fully expecting, maybe if it wasn't immediately on Raw, really soon, him not losing and being kicked out of the Judgment Day isn't going to mean anything because they're going to kick him out of the Judgment Day one way or another. He's out of there.
I think SummerSlam is when we see the split happen.
Yeah, which is right around the corner. We got a month and some change.
I think that is it.
We got a month and some change.
Omar, champion of the week. Pick any company you want. Go for it.
I'm gonna go back to NXT and Obafemi. The man, his match with Wesley was just intense at Heatwave. It was wild. He gave us a brand new GIF to use, that sort of F5 toss in the air where he spun him around like a pizza and dropped him like that. That was wild. I mean, I'll probably be using that GIF a lot for the next year. But he just continued his dominance. Even with Wesley giving him his best shots and everything, and it looked like he had a chance. He really did.
No,
And
he
I
didn't.
think
He
that
did not.
his run is going to continue because I don't see anyone that's going to oppose him. He's
He's gonna
looking at Duke from
steamroll.
Chase U. Yeah,
Yes, he's gonna
basically.
steamroll Duke this coming week. Like I don't think they're gonna give it a valiant effort. Like Chase U, I personally love Thea Hale. I'm a Thea Hale guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, I'm just like Duke Hudson don't win shit. So like, this ain't happening. I don't think anyone's gonna take the belt from Oba anytime soon. To be honest, I think he's gonna have an extensive run with that title. I almost think he's gonna have a Keith Lee style run where it's like he might actually be the one to beat Ethan Page and be a double champion.
Yeah, or he's gonna hold that belt so long it's gonna be almost like a Gunther type thing where, and because that's who he's getting comparisons to. Like, oh, we need him and Gunther to lock it up, and that might happen at some point when he gets called up. But I see that maybe being a year down the line where he's gonna still have the title.
That belt needs some resuscitation, so I'm cool with Oba like having a year-long title reign with the North American belt. Like I'm perfectly fine with that. Like I don't see anyone in the North American division, the mid-card division of NXT, even taking the belt from him. Like Duke is cool because of Duke's stature, maybe in Ridge Holland, but like realistically, they aren't in position credibly to look like they can beat Oba without having the IWC in a fucking uproar. You know what I'm saying? Like, really? Duke Hudson? Like, come on. This is who beat Oba Femi? Like, you would see the internet literally explode. Like, yo, come on, man. Like, really? Like, Oba Femi lost to Duke Hudson?
It would have to be some silly stuff happening.
Yes.
It has to be some shenanigans.
But Oba could kill the whole Chase U by himself, and I would just be like, I believe it. Like, he's just going to knock out Andre. He's going to uppercut Ridge. He's going to knock the other dude out, and then he's just going to choke slam. You know what I'm saying? 1, 2, 3, and it's like nothing happened. And Chase U's out of here. So my thing for Oba is almost like, who's next? Like, damn near, who is next for Oba after Duke Hudson? Like, Ridge Holland? Is that what's going to be it? Like, he's going to just knock down the whole Chase U? Is like that whole division, the mid-card division, is really interesting for NXT right now. I can't call it. I really can't call it. I don't want to see him demolish the favorites like Javon Evans because he can't afford another loss. I just don't know where Oba Femi goes the rest of this reign. That's all. That's my big question mark. So, LaDarius, who you got? Who's your champion of the week? Any company, any title?
Omar took. I had a backup plan after Oba because I figured Oba was gonna
pick different champions, not the same champion.
Yeah. So that's why I said I came with a backup. I had a backup quarterback situation. So, I'm gonna go with since Tiffany Stratton won the briefcase, I think Bayley. I've always for Bayley.
What a boring title run! I can't wait to hear this one.
Yeah, but no, but that's kind of the reason I'm going to go into. To me, I like Bayley, I really do. It's just when you look at the Bayley. It's like when you look at the competition, you're like, I mean, like to be clear, it's not Bayley's fault. Like it's not her fault. But like when she's going to face Nia Jax at SummerSlam, and
it's
then
over.
I feel it's over. It's like the minute the match was announced, I'm like, well, Nia Jax is going to be the champion. It's just, Bayley's kind of on borrowed time. The only thing that's adding interest to it now is Tiffany Stratton with the briefcase. Now with the relationship with Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton,
which takes away from Bayley, I think, at that point.
Yeah, it adds interest, but it does take away,
but takes away from Bayley.
Yeah, but to me, I'm sticking with the only reason why I'm sticking with Bayley is that it's something to talk about. Because to be honest, I think with the Liv Morgan side, I think we're on the collision course for Liv and Rhea. It's just I think we're on that sort of collision course whenever that happens. Because I think there's really I can't think of unless anybody else can help me think of who else Liv could possibly face that's not Rhea.
Yo, dog, when did she defend the belt? Like, I'm just confused at Liv Morgan's title reign. Like, I'm one of the.
Well, did she defend against Zelina Vega?
Yeah,
recently.
On the Raw. Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
But like a legitimate. Yeah. See, that's the. I think it's an issue for both of the women's title. Because it's once again, it's kind of not their fault, but at some point, like outside of, like going back to Bayley, I choose Bailey because, like I say, it does take away from, the whole thing with Tim Stratton, the briefcase with Nia. But to me, Bailey's holding it because you need someone to hold it. I don't want to say credibility because she's the only person right now at the moment who could hold the belt. She had her moment at WrestleMania. Now she can hold the belt.
I figure it.
So at this point, if she, I would be super like I would be shocked as much as I like Bailey if she somehow retains at SummerSlam. I just don't see a situation in my head where she possibly retains. And I like Bailey a lot. I think they showed signs that they're kind of going toward maybe Nia, and I think I can see Nia being the champion and then kind of turning the page and kind of now you're creating that friction with Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax. But it's just like for Bailey, it's just watching her reign. It's like she defended against Piper Niven over at Clash at the Castle. And,
Cool.
and yeah, cool. I know. Yeah, we give thumbs up. It was cool, but outside of that, it's concerning because you kind of see where the path is going. And
Bailey reminds me of a hot art school teacher, and it's like that's cool and all, but like, what are we doing here? It's like, what is going on with her reign? Like, she's such an afterthought of the women's division that I'm just like, man, it's only a matter of time till Queen Nia just comes through, and because we're all speaking up Nia winning, I feel like they're going to bait and switch us at SummerSlam and let it rock until Berlin.
Yeah.
I think the best that they really could have done and should have done is really, really pay it like detailed attention to her and Damage Control. It should have been like much more of a very, very bold falling out and like blood feud levels. That shit just
putting Dakota
out.
over. Like Dakota could have damn near been in this position where like she's the one having the one-on-ones with Bailey.
Yeah, like there's a whole lot of story there that it seems like they just didn't finish writing. You know what I mean? Like a back and forth feud. We used to stand next to each other. Now we're across the ring.
You are very spot on with that, Ayo. They spent 2 years putting Bianca in an unsufferable fucking chokehold with Damage Control. That like, how did Bailey just get out of this feud so quick? Like, you didn't give us Bailey Asuka, Bailey Dakota. We got Bailey EO once?
Like that's the point a lot of times to me of building a faction. You have tag teams and factions because at some point somebody's going to break away and then there's resentment from the rest of the crew. Now you have to go through everybody and they just didn't do that.
I'd agree.
It kind of feels like everybody else went through Damage Control except for Bailey.
Right, which standing next to them gets kicked out of the group and then we're done here.
Yeah, it's like
drafted the Raw, y'all out of here.
Yeah, we're done here. But what about we're done here. We're done.
Yeah.
So I need to fight Dakota. No, we're done here.
We're done here.
Yeah.
Listen, I got Postmates coming. You got to get we're done. I got dinner coming. You got to go. We're done.
It's crazy that like her pandemic run was probably more eventful than this run right here. Like,
and that's saying a lot.
Yeah.
Like you can't pinpoint 4 matches that Bailey's had in this run since WrestleMania. That's like, that Bailey women's title run.
Yeah.
Crazy. So that was Champions Watch. Right now, we're gonna take it over to AEW. Well, before we get to AEW, let's make some news and make some applause for Stephanie McCour signing to WWE. I'm excited. I'm stoked for that one. My first time really checking out Stephanie McCour was at Forbidden Door. I'm not gonna hold y'all. I'm not the guy to sit here and tell you, I'm a Stephanie McCour guy. I was the guy that was actually like, who the fuck is this woman leading up to Forbidden Door? Because there was just promos, her popping in, having a match on Collision, maybe on Rampage, and that was that. But she won everyone over. She won me over. And she, granted, Mercedes was made to make that match, she built that match up to make sure that Stephanie got over, which, how fucking convenient is that? Because it actually did work, you know what I'm saying? I was saying that Stephanie dog walked Mercedes most of that match, even though she lost, but it was all purposely planned, which ended up working out for the best because now she is WWE bound and she's going to Orlando. And I think that's going to be really fucking awesome because she is awesome. Shout out to Chili. the country of Chile. You know what I'm saying? I think she's going to do great in NXT. That women's division is stacked right now. The difference is Stephanie McCourt is actually credible to where, like, when she debuts, her and Julia could easily knock Roxanne the fuck out of competition. We're like, oh shit, like Sol Ruka, Kelani Jordan, even Jada Parker, my baby, like all these new people that are in the women's division, they could get put right to the fucking wayside when Stephanie McCourt and Julia get here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad she didn't go to AEW. I'm on that side of the fence. I think she would have just popped up. She would have had a cool match or two on Collision and Rampage. She would have had a feud with Deonna Purrazzo and fucking Thunder Rosa. It would have been on the pre-show, and then we would have never heard of Stephanie McCourt again. So I think her going to NXT is going to be wonderful, and I think she's going to be one of the top stars of the WWE Women's Division in the next 12 months. Mark my words. And that's how I feel about Stephanie McCourt. Fellas, what say you?
Yeah, yeah. I agree. The thing is, like you mentioned, the NXT Women's Division, it's so stacked, and just adding Stephanie McCourt just makes it like. And then you think about your brain starts rushing. Like you got Stephanie McCourt, and you got Jillian, and like now we're like, well, who's going to beat Roxanne? Well, that answer may be the answer's there. Like it's not a it's not an SAT question. You don't need multiple choice. If you want multiple choice for the sake of multiple choice, sure. But
it
now,
ain't Fallon Henley that's beating Roxanne. I'll tell you that much.
I'll give you a clue.
Ruka.
Yeah. Like, listen, I like Sol Ruka, I like Kelani Jordan, I like Jada. Yeah, it's like, but when we're talking Stephanie McCourt, we're talking Jillian. It's a different conversation. It's a different ballgame, and the fact that it's just curious to see, like you say, Stephanie, she's going to rise the ranks, and like I've always said, the women's division in WWE is always going to be fine. You don't focus on who's not there, just focus on who's there. That's all I tell people all the time. Don't focus on who's not. Oh, Becky Lynch and Bianca. Don't focus on who's not there. You focus on who's there. You're looking at the present and you're looking at the future of the company.
Correct.
That's what you need to be looking at. Like, I'm not saying Becky's going to be on the wayside. I'm not saying Bianca's by the wayside. All I'm saying is we look at the present and look at the future of the women's division in NXT. And then potentially when they go up to the main roster, when that happens, it's not an if, but when that happens, and it's like, what will we like? You're gonna be like
Stephanie
Becky
and Mercedes had a great match, at Forbidden Door. So think about what Stephanie could do at a PLE 12 months from now against Bianca, against Becky. That is salivating in itself. Like you like to look. I like looking at Stephanie McCourt like as a woman and as a wrestler. So I'm like, oh shit, like this is going to be outstanding. Like when she shows up here, like she's gonna knock it out the fucking park. So I had to make this a topic because I'm just two thumbs up. She watched my story. She's tapped in. She gave me a like. She saluted it. You know what I'm saying? She knows what's going on. I gave her a post today. She liked it. She watched it. So she knows what's going on, man. She sees the traction that's going on, and I think her stock is gonna rise crazy on this news that's going on this week. Fellas, Omar, AO, what say y'all?
I'll make mine really, really quick. This goes back to my comment earlier about the direction overall of NXT. Look at who they just scooped up. Look at the way the women's division was 15 minutes ago to what it's going to be in 3 months. Right? Julia comes back. I think this is not development. It's developmental, and it's little by little going back to where it's not developmental. Let's just put some real interesting combinations together.
It's like if you want to give them developmental, here's Sol Ruka and Kelani Jordan. But if you want the real shit, oh, don't worry.
Yeah, this is
where
real shit. These are where if you need some wrestlers to get their bars off, you go down to NXT. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is WWE's version of where the best wrestler. It's about to be anyway. You know what I mean? They go in and they're picking up some hot names on the indie. So you're going to get that developmental in the sense of you have really, really credible people for these other young up-and-coming wrestlers to go up against. It's not rookie versus rookie, or it doesn't have to be that. It's going to be people against some of the most established, workers ever. So, yeah, dope. I'm not one of the guys that's like, yo, I want to see this person here. I want to see wherever you're at, make it fucking work. You know what I
Agreed.
mean? Wherever you
Yeah.
go, just make it work. So when she gets there, this is all potential. She hasn't stepped through a rope whatsoever as far as television time on NXT. But when she does, make it work. And I think she can make it work.
Agreed. Omar, how you
Yeah.
feel?
I say she got to get that bag, and I'm glad that she's going to do that. WWE is where it's at. I mean, that's kind of like the big leagues. I mean, say what you will about AEW, they're fantastic. They, are sort of there's two top companies in pro wrestling, and you can argue as to which one is which, but undeniably WWE has that machine, and her going to NXT, getting her running through her paces again. It's developmental, but it's also like, okay, preseason too, because you got to tune up and get that WWE style before you start going into
Facts.
Raw and SmackDown and everything, and going to the house shows and live events and getting into that machine. So she's going to get a chance to do that. And iron sharpens iron. She's got a lot more field of competition that she can just make better in the ring by being with them in the ring, as well as just improve her stock by going head to head. And not to really make this a tribal thing, because I do like AEW, got some know some great people that are working there, but it's a different scene over there in terms of how they. You could probably say ROH is one place that talent can go. Collision, there's different shows that they can do, but it's easy to get lost over there if you're a new talent, especially as a
Man,
woman being booked and being put on TV and everything. There's a lot of times I tune into AEW and I'm looking to see, like, where's
where's
Lady Frost being put? Where's
Bravo?
Trisha Dora at? And it's like, you don't want people that and that appreciate their talent being put on TV and not being recognized for what they can do, because it doesn't fit into the little storyline that they have going on up there.
Mercedes might have been the only one because of her cachet, but you can't find Deanna Perrazzo on a milk carton, on a wanted poster, on Rampage. It's like there's a lot of like even Taya Valkyrie. You
Yeah.
can't find Taya Valkyrie anywhere right now. Maybe ROH, but outside of that, they bring in a lot of the dope women that are still on the field, and it's just like they just sit. Which, I can't knock anyone collecting a paycheck. Do your thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, shit, if I
Get
can
that
collect a
bag.
paycheck to just, be a dope wrestler and not have to wrestle.
Yeah.
But then I feel like it gets these wrestlers at some point, and you could probably attest to it because you see it, live and direct, like, I'm not being used. And I want to wrestle. Like, I want to do shit, but I'm just sitting here, sitting. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think
Yeah.
at some point you're going to start to hear more of the hustle and bustle of, like, yo, where's Taya Valkyrie? Where's Deanna Perrazzo? Where is Serena Deeb? Where is Thunder Rosa? Like, what happened to anybody? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just remarkable with the AEW women's division sometimes. And this is bringing me into our next topic, which is the road to All In / All Out. So AEW talk as we wrap up for the night. I don't know if you got the Dynamite card, if you want to run it down. You know what I'm saying? This is
Nah, I don't want to go through like beat for beat. I'm gonna see if I can pull up the
yeah.
matches that are already booked for All In.
All right, so we can do that. We can do that. Yeah, we'll go with that. You know what I'm saying? I still got to rewatch most of Dynamite. I didn't really get too much into it. I caught some of the highlights. I think this might have been one of the highlights. This might have been one of my favorite Dynamites. Probably one of the better Dynamites I've seen in a while. Mariah, Tony Storm, the ending. Swerve and Danielson being a thing. MJF and Ospreay, I think, is just fucking pointless right now. I think it's just getting out of hand. I think it's just like, whoa, way too soon. Way too fucking soon here, guys. Like, it's way too soon here for this one.
Why do you feel it's too soon?
Okay, so we're getting Ospreay's promo already was fucking stupid. Like, the whole line about, like, yo, like, fuck, I gotta paraphrase it.
He fumbled some lines. He went on Twitter and basically said, "Hey,
Yeah,
I
he
fucked
said,
up."
yeah.
Yeah, like,
This is
yeah,
what it is.
dog. Ain't your
Something,
fucking
bruv.
Yeah, bro.
Besides that, it was just like, yeah, MJF.
But yo,
and
to
the
be honest
money.
with you, that if I'm gonna shoot somebody some bail, he's been on AEW TV since what, March? Let's say, something like that. One promo out of how many was a flop?
All right. It's all right. So, promo aside, it's him and MJF feuding now because Daniel Garcia's in the mix, right? Random as fuck. I don't know what that's going to do for Daniel Garcia. Pac is in the mix. Random.
Hold on,
as
stop
fuck.
right there. This puts Daniel Garcia in the mix with people that are legit main eventers. This is just to see what he looks like next to main eventers.
But you just look at Daniel Garcia and you're just like, shrug my shoulders. Like, I just don't see the excitement in Daniel Garcia outside of the dance. He put his nuts on Will Ospreay's head last week, and I was just like, am I watching a Val Venus match? What the fuck is this? Like, would Val Venus do this to Steve Austin? No. He wouldn't do this to Steve Austin. So, like, I was kind of just like, I don't know, yo. Daniel Garcia to me, like, I want to fuck with Daniel Garcia, but I'm just like, I just feel like him and Jack Perry and Darby Allin should hang out more often. Like, that should be the trio of feud. Like, that TNT title shit, that should be the thing. Daniel Garcia is not the backbone of AEW. He really wasn't the backbone of AEW to begin with. He wasn't a pillar. He hasn't won anything that matters. And I don't want to sound like I'm knocking Daniel Garcia. I fuck with his wrestling, but as a character, what excitement do I have for Daniel Garcia? So I guess MJF is going to be the one to elevate him. Cool. Now you bring in Pac, who now is the number one contender, former international champion. He wants a title match. I don't think he's going to get a title match at all. Probably not. That's not exciting. But that could be the case because it's England. But I think they'll get away with that by just having him be the filler feud for August, right? Like between Ospreay or MJF. So that'll get him out the way. And then MJF and Ospreay, I think, are going to play hot potato with the international title, which right now, I don't think they need to be doing that. I just don't think they need to be. Like, that is a feud that could have just waited just a little bit longer. Like, I think them playing hot potato with the international title is just not enticing for me, personally. And I don't want a fantasy book. Maybe they won't play hot potato. Maybe Ospreay will steamroll through MJF. But I just don't see MJF getting out of this feud and not having the last say.
Well, you mentioned it. Daniel Garcia has got, sort of a stake in this too, being attacked by MJF. So, not to book it all the way to the show, but you could have a run-in or a distraction or some kind of finish where Daniel Garcia is involved. And that, sort of furthers or turns that feud on and, sort of he takes his eye off of Ospreay, who continues to reign. I mean, you don't want to see that at All In of all places, but
Like,
I mean, they kind of sowed those seeds.
Already MJF gonna eat a pin? I think Ospreay shouldn't even ate a pin already. Me personally, I think he should have. I think that, like, as cool as him and Swerve's match was, I don't think that match should have even happened. I don't want to see Will Ospreay lose and Will Ospreay die. I think he should have just been.
Man, but
I think he should have been clean slate all the way to all.
How do you have a big match with your big guys if nobody loses?
You just have him beat the
Will
other.
Ospreay can't lose. MJF can't lose. Swerve can't. Like, who actually loses?
Daniel Bryan loses. Bryan Danielson loses. That's the only guy.
But then it's like, but I saw that coming. That's predictable.
Yeah.
Like, I like big matches where this guy, you say wrestler 1 can't lose and wrestler A can't lose, and somebody has to lose, and I don't know. So that's dope to me.
And there's a lot of these guys have unfinished business behind them. Swerve has got, even though he's looking squarely at Bryan Danielson, he's still got Hangman Page kind of in his rear view.
Yeah.
He's still got
he's
got old Cody this week.
Yo, the curveball, like, perfect example this week, Bryan Danielson versus Hangman Page. You know the story of Bryan Danielson is I want to get that world title before I'm done as a full-time wrestler.
Right.
Hangman Page, though, he comes back, and I'm going for the guy right now that's the world champ, and the winner of this tournament gets the world champ at the biggest show of the year. That's not predictable.
Mm-hmm.
I predicted that Hangman would have won, and I was wrong. That shit is dope. So now the question is like, all right, what's Hangman's angle now? We know he's going to try to find his way back towards Swerve because he still has beef. There's a weird interaction right now with him and the Elite. How does that shake out? Like, I like it. Past 2 episodes, by the way, of Dynamite, I think have been like,
this one was solid. This episode was solid.
This one and last week's were 10 out of 10 for me.
I'm just looking at it from a standpoint of, like, where do you have the all out card pulled up yet?
All in right now, there are 2 official matches that I'm looking at right now. Timeless Toni Storm, she's defending against Mariah May, who won the Owen, and Swerve is booked against Bryan Danielson. So as far as official matches, we see directions that they're going in, but actual booked confirmed, those are two. Which, by the way, Tony Storm, Mariah May, Chef's Kiss.
No, that was really good, really good. That like, if there's anyone that we all could agree is going to take the title from Tony Storm, it was going to be Mariah May, and I think this is going to be a good. This is what makes damn near Tony Storm snap back to reality.
Or go deeper into just some odd shit. Because, like, she became timeless Tony Storm after a loss. So what happens when she loses? You know, again, does she snap back or does she go even further? You know, what are you liking right now, LaDarius?
No, you know, I think with that whole situation, I'm curious to see what happens with Tony Storm. To be perfectly honest, because like I say, as you mentioned, after the loss, that's how we got timeless Tony Storm. Now, assuming that she does, I think we get consensus that Mariah May takes the belt from Tony Storm. A part of me wants to see her kind of snap back into reality, but also that little small part wants to feel maybe if you kind of go, how deep can she go? How deep down the rabbit hole can we go without going, super deep? But in Tony Storm's case, I don't know what super deep would even mean in that case.
Right.
But I'm just curious. To me, that's like one of the, like I said, someone loves women's wrestling. That's what I'm super curious about. Is what happens to her character after that match, because we can go two different roads, and to be honest, that large part of me, like I said, wants to see her kind of snap back into the reality, wake up, none of the black and white stuff. We're back into reality, but also that part of me wants to see what happens. How deep can she go? Because we've kind of seen how limitless, legitimately, how the mindset goes and how deep she can really go. Because after
what I think is interesting too is like it took her a while to capture the character in the in ring and make the two of those worlds really work.
It took a minute,
But like right now,
it's won us over.
Was that?
It's won all of us over for the most part.
Yeah. But like early on, there was like it was like maybe too much of the character work in
right.
The match.
It was like 80. It was like 70-30, and it threw off the balance. But when she found that 50-50 balance,
she has that balance where she can be timeless Tony Storm as cameras are rolling and entrance bell rings. Now we can get busy. I might throw a pose in here or there, but I'm still Tony Storm at the end of the day.
Yeah. So that's kind of where my curiosity is to see what happens, because to me, that's the only real person who can legitimately take the belt off of Tony Storm. And I'm like, you know what? I'm fine with it. Is Mariah May. It's like you can see. Here's the thing: you can see things coming. Like I always say, it's just how do you get there? Definitely. It's like how do you get there? People are like, oh, I see, it's obvious. But to me, it's how you get there. That's what makes it interesting, because where you think it's gonna go, that like, oh, this is the way they're gonna go to get there. No, they may take the back way and take this way and cut that way, and we get to the same place, and everybody wins.
To speak about like Hangman and Swerve, right? I would say right now, Swerve versus Bryan. Swerve probably walks out of All In still champ. We're still
crazy.
getting.
I don't. I think I don't. I feel like
I think Bryan wins, and what happens to the belt after that? Does he defend it at All Out?
That's TBD, but I think we get the loss of the world title at Wrestle Dream when he finally retires in Washington. Back to Swerve.
Could be interesting.
I think that is where we end up going. Like, I kind of like looking at last night, I was like, you know what? There's no way that Danielson has just been taking loss after loss in a very uneventful, unmemorable last year to just lose in Wembley after missing last year's Wembley. I think he really does win. And then maybe he loses it the following week. But I think just for that pop and just for the, Bryan Danielson,
emotional,
he
finally did it.
He's the
AEW
dream world champion.
True.
Yes, like there's no way that Bryan Danielson has the run he's had in AEW with nothing to show for it. He's been in the background of
what's crazy? Him holding that Owen title is the first title he's held. Like seeing Bryan Danielson actually holding a title is like, wow, that's That's odd.
Yes.
Like, wait, what? Like, wait,
Wow.
What's happening right now?
it's like, wait, didn't feel right.
He's
and
got
we know-
gold over his shoulder in 2024. Wow.
And we know the Owen title doesn't mean anything at this point. So, like, that's
No,
never going to get held again.
It's not defended. It's really what the Continental should be. It shouldn't be defended. But it
At-
does. At
No.
least they gave
Everyone
that
gets a
tournament
belt.
stakes.
It's a cup and a belt, so it's like it's
Yeah,
really
they're
that trophy more
trophies.
than anything. But they
Yeah,
do that.
they're trophies,
Yeah.
which is fine. But actually having the stakes this year, there's some meaning now. Before it was just a tournament to honor him or whatever. But they got those stakes now, where there's a world title
Yes.
on the line. You know, so or a shot anyway.
I think that's going to be cool. Omar, how you feel about it?
Britt Baker versus Mercedes is lined up too.
I'm excited. Omar, how you feel about it? How you feel about things so far?
I think it's shaping up to be a pretty good card. I'm curious, what's going to happen with the other card. What's going to happen with like Don Callis' family and Zack Sabre Jr. and if there's going to be something with the Elite happening. And I think we're going to see that shaping up over the next few weeks. Samoa Joe and Hook. What are they going to be doing on the card?
The Don Callis family is the worst, and I think they might actually cost Ospreay his international title against MJF. Lo and behold, it could go either way.
Don Callis' family is lined up the way the Damage Control should have been. If they play it right for Ospreay to then have to beef with Takeshita, Ospreay to then have to beef with Powerhouse Hobbs when he comes back, and whoever else.
Yo, he's already beat the whole faction.
Do it again.
Well, that's the thing, though. Is Don Callis keeps adding to the faction, so
Right,
it's like he keeps recruiting and everything else. So,
yo, what happened to Trent?
Nah, you gotta relax. We're talking about talking about non-cooked.
No.
We was talking about Kyle O'Reilly. You put him back on there.
Yeah. This card is looking good though.
Yeah, ABC.
Really good.
Always be recruiting.
The all out card looks pretty solid right now. I know they gotta really sell it. You know what I mean? I think Bryan Danielson versus Swerve is that works. I think it works. It's a sleeper, but I think it works.
I don't think it's a sleeper. The story is there. Everybody be asking for stories. The story is, can Bryan Danielson finally win it, or can Swerve, defend his title?
Who's the heel? Who's the face? That's my thing. It's like
I think situational. I think situational will probably be Swerve. He'll definitely be more aggressive on the night. Definitely.
But now Swerve got to play heel with Hangman in the back with all out next week. The following
but it's
week.
situational within this feud. Who's the sentimental guy? Everybody's going to root for Bryan Danielson, so Swerve has to play the heel here.
So Swerve got to break into Bryan Danielson's house and talk to Birdie and them, and just sit over the crib and them.
Whoa, wait. So wait, I got to think about this. What was the last title that Danielson held? Was it that like planetary championship?
Yes.
Yeah.
When he turned it into that wood and the hat belt. What?
I called it the Captain Planet belt. That's what I called it. The Captain Planet belt.
That's why
he was the Planeteer.
The sustainable eco belt.
Yeah. Like, was it Captain Planet? Like, what are you doing?
That is why I think he wins, which is kind of wild. I really thought we were going to get Danielson and Nigel, which could end up being the case for WrestleDream. Like, there's still a lot of ways.
Even that, like, with between Jeff Jarrett and Nigel being on commentary, I'm like, all right, somebody's doing something, and no real shenanigans. Jeff just counted to 3. Nigel never left the booth.
All right, so now that I say this, maybe we get, if Swerve does retain, then we could get Danielson, Nigel at All Out as the sell of that pay-per-view. In the final Bryan Danielson match. Like, that could be the one. But I just, for some reason, think that Danielson wins and ends Swerve's reign, and then Swerve gets it back at WrestleDream in Washington when it's 2 home state guys going back and forth with each other. Hangman is going to fit in where he fits in, but I don't think Hangman is the next AEW World Champion. I just don't think that's the case.
No. I think that's just a blood feud. I mean, the man actually drank his blood on TV, so I don't think he's letting go of Swerve at all. He's fixated.
That's like that. The Hangman and Swerve is same vibes as like Punk and Drew, in the sense that feud is just about hatred. It ain't about titles anymore. I really do not like you. Title or no title, I don't like you.
I'm just like in awe that like we're gonna end up having to watch Hangman join the Mudline. Like, I'm just like, damn, yo. Like, I'm not excited to see Hangman finally eat his words and be like, you know what? Young Bucks and Okada, I'm with y'all. Like, fuck. Fuck, yo. Like, I'm kind of cool with Rogue Hangman. Like, I'm fine with it, but I just see him getting to a point where he's going to end up siding with the Idiot World Order, and it's going to be no avoiding it. Like, there's no avoiding this faction coming together.
I don't know. I
Because
think it's a means to an end. He's just going to use
I'm
them.
over this
Yeah,
dude.
I think
Yeah.
it might
I'm
be like
over
a
this
blood
dude.
and guts. It might be a blood and guts thing, and then they fall back out. Him and Okada don't bang with each other, so that's what you pay attention to. Young Bucks are gonna try and cut him some slack. Him and Okada don't really fuck with each other though, so that's something to look at. That might be the all in for those two.
I am just over this faction. Christopher Daniels as a general manager.
Yeah.
Who's more useless, him as the GM or
Don't say Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce
Adam
gonna
Pearce.
hold it down. Adam Pearce gonna do more. Christopher Daniels, they literally got Taz out of the building last week when Tony Khan and Christopher Daniels were both on deck. Like, I don't know what's going on there. Like, what's happening right now? Like, what is like pack the mud line up, yo. Like, this is getting crazy, man. This is getting crazy with this group sometimes. So their trajectory for All Out and All In should be crazy because the tag division is in shambles. Like, we don't got to go too much on the AEW topic, but I'm like, yo, that tag division is hype. Hype. Like, they're going to hold the belts inadvertently for a while because there's nobody that's going to take it from them because they claimed are dead in the water. And there's no other tag teams. What happened to Motor City Machine Guns? Are they not coming in? Like, why is that guy
I don't
quiet?
think they signed with anybody.
Yeah.
They're just chilling.
I don't think they signed with anybody yet.
So I just don't see anyone taking the belts from the Young Bucks at any point, and I think that's what's like scary to me. It's like, yo, they're gonna end up holding those belts for a while, like just off default because there's no competition in the tag division.
Oh well, fuck them. End of the day, the card that's shaking out right now looks fire.
We're gonna get a 4-way tag team match for the tag teams.
And it'll slap on the night. And somebody, as long as we don't pull any Achilles or knock any patellas out of place, we're good to go. We're good to go.
Another multi-man tag team match for the tag team.
Yeah, why not? Why not? They're
Team
gonna do the
man.
WrestleMania, man. Let's get everybody in this match.
Yeah.
Let's get the Andre popping.
Yeah.
It's the
Multi-man
Andre
at
ladder
Wembley.
match. Andre tag ladder match over there.
Yo, if we get another ladder match in 3 months in AEW, yo, dog, there's no way you can keep defaulting to having a ladder match. Just as
yes, you can. The pro wrestling business has been doing it for the last 25 years. Yes, you can.
Yo, son, there's
Yes,
no
you
way
can.
we could have another ladder match.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
You know what these wrestling companies don't run out of? Ladders.
Yeah.
Nope.
I damn near would rather just be a table match. Like, if they said a table match, I might be like, you know what?
All right, cool. And then somebody pulls the ladder from under the ring and throws somebody through
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
9 times out of 10, every ladder match, and I've seen this even on the indies, someone starts to get chanting, "We want tables," and a table gets introduced because there is always one under the ring too.
Always.
It turns into a TLC match. It don't matter.
Inevitably.
No
Right next to
DQ.
that bag of thumbtacks.
Yeah, or Legos.
Yeah, exactly.
The Legos making a run right now. The Legos is having a hell of a season right now.
Listen, I've stepped on a Lego or two in my life. And
It hurts.
damn, bro.
Painful.
Not a good time.
Damn,
That shit
bro.
hurt.
Fellas, this has been fun. This has been fun. This has been episode 95. It's crazy to say, but we are now 5 episodes away from 100 of them things.
Yes,
Starting with
we
you,
are.
LaDarius. Let everybody know where they can find you and follow you and what else you got going on, man.
Sure. You can follow me on both Twitter and TikTok at LaDarius_Brown. On Instagram, it's LaDarius __Brown. I missed out on the _Brown somehow in there, but you can find me there. You can find my work beyond women's sports, belly up sports. Probably, with the Olympics coming, I'll be covering the swimming. I'll be covering
Fire.
the gymnastics. So I'll be covering softball. So like I said, it's busy season. Always good to be busy. Also women's wrestling, as I mentioned earlier. So all good times ahead.
Yes, sir. Stay busy, my man. Stay busy. Omar, let them know.
Yeah, just a reminder, on all platforms as OJ_purple stuff, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, etc. You can also find me online and at most shows. Doing shows for re-announcing for Assault Wrestling Alliance, uh, Flying V Fights Pro Wrestling, as well as Fight Pro Wrestling, and last but not least, Fight Club Pro Wrestling, the home of the Pan African World Diaspora Wrestling Championship. So
Hey,
look for me in all those shows. I'm the voice of the Capital Region, and I will be ring announcing for all those. And also, if you want to hear me on commentary, check out AEWA Maryland Wrestling. That's on my YouTube channel. I do some color commentary and some matches as well.
Yes, sir. Well,
there we
Chad,
go.
want to hit him with the outro survey?
Yes, sir. Our outro survey we do with the Ringside Club. Will Tiffany Stratton cash in her Money in the Bank briefcase this year? Not 2025, 2024. I'm going to go ahead and say no. I think she holds on to it for a little while into next year. Fellas, what say you?
One word, yes.
2024 cash in? Okay.
I'm gonna say
Omar?
no. She's got Nia Jax kind of, on her side and over her shoulder, so I think she's gonna kind of just be running with that briefcase, and that's gonna factor heavily into the cash in. But that's gonna be a big payoff come WrestleMania season next year.
LaDarius.
Yeah. I was gonna initially say yes, but Omar swung me, so I'm gonna say no. As much as I want to see it, I'm leaning toward no.
Tiffany holds on to it.
And with that, for Omar, for LaDarius, for Blaine Boogie, who was out on assignment, peace to the gods, for my man Chad Law, my name is AO. This is the Ringside Club. We out of here. Peace.